Now, it doesn't have to be sauteed a lot, but enough to make it completely cooked, okay? We're going to taste the sauce quickly just before we decide how we're going to finish it. Actually, it tastes pretty good right now. I am going to butter the sauce. We're going to use some salt and pepper and a pinch of sugar. It's got a little bit of I have sugar here, a little bit of underlying, not bitterness, but it just needs a little mellowing. Not to make it sweet, though. First, let's just check the texture. The texture of the sauce is perfect already. But that also is attributable to the fact that the brown sauce texture that we added to the white wine reduction with the mushroom was already perfect. Or certainly acceptable to me. Okay, so there's the texture we don't have to adjust. And the mushrooms, which in the case of the mushrooms have a tendency to absorb the butter. If you were sauteing shallots or onions here, I would recommend that you drain them through a strainer before you add them to the sauce. But because mushrooms or other vegetables like eggplant tend to absorb the oil or butter that you're sauteing them in, there's nothing to drain. Okay? So we'll throw the mushrooms inside the sauce. And we're going to put the whole soft unsalted butter. Again, the proportions are always, in terms of finishing the sauce, 2 ounces of whole unsalted butter per quart, whether it be soup or sauce. So we're going to put, I only have a couple of cups of sauce here, so we're going to put maybe an ounce of butter in there. We're going to put a little bit of pepper initially, a little bit of salt, and a pinch of the sugar. Thank you. Again, we don't want to make the sauce sweet. On the other hand, if I would have used red wine in this reduction instead of white wine, one could use more sugar in the final seasoning or flavor adjustment of a red wine sauce, just because there's such a thing, because of its acceptance and popularity and because of how good it is, of sweet red wine sauce. Multiple recipes, for example, call for a brown, sweet red wine sauce to go on to poached eggs. So it depends if you want it sweet, but particularly with the red wine, you can make it a little bit sweeter if you want. The white wine normally is not conducive to that, though, okay? Let's have a taste of it now. Now that we've added what I think is probably all we're going to need to add. It's good. I'm going to put a pinch more sugar in it. This sauce looks nice now. It's finished. Now, I could store this sauce in a hot water bath, of course, for 2 or 3 hours without any fear of it separating or anything like that. But if I did that, of course, I would either put plastic wrap directly on it while it was in a hot water bath or dot the top with whole butter to keep a scab from forming on top of the sauce. Or I would just put it in the refrigerator and reheat it when I was ready for it. If that had been my plan, I wouldn't have put the butter in it, though. I would have waited until I reheated it, and then I'd put the butter in it. So let's look at the texture now. And now you have mushrooms in the sauce, which makes it a mushroom sauce. Now I want to recap for you for a minute or two here the essence of the term mushroom sauce again, and why I recommended this particular process that I demonstrated for you today, that I would call defines the basics of a mushroom sauce. Number one, there's an essence of mushroom in the sauce itself that you get in there, however you get in there. The way I put it in there, which you saw, which was the fine mince through the food processor and then reducing it into white wine, is probably the fastest, fresh way of doing it. Well, there's an unfresh way of doing it, which wouldn't necessarily include the whole reducing period, and that is that one can buy dried mushroom powder. Porcini, of course, Italian mushroom, is the most commonly sold powdered mushroom, which is more of a concentrate, keeping in mind that the dried mushroom is always about 5 times more strong in its flavor than a fresh mushroom, just because when it dries, it concentrates its flavor, as is all dried foods are a little bit more concentrated in their original flavors. So that's another way that you can get the mushroom flavor into it. So continuing on with the recapping of the essence of making mushroom sauce, the flavor inside the sauce, which is absolutely essential, and then the visual of having some kind of mushrooms on top. And again, I just use some regular American standard mushrooms, but if you want to get exotic and use shiitakes or porcinis or wood ear or chanterelles, etc., feel free to do so. This is a good basic way to go about making your mushroom sauce. Good luck with it, and You'll enjoy this. Of course, you know what to put this on. Anything that you like mushroom sauce on. You got it.